Okay, this recipe is called Khubbie. For this recipe, you need a pound of ground beef, a pound of ground lamb, green onions, salt and pepper, garlic, mint, cracked wheat, and cumin. Alright, I'm going to do some prep work and then we'll get into the steps. Okay, prep work is all done, so we've got chopped green onion. This is chopped up mint. This is our bulgur, which has been soaking in water. There's about almost a cup of bulgur here because I have 2 pounds of meat. But you know, when you're only doing 1 pound of meat, I would cut it back to half a cup. And this has been soaking in about half a cup of water, just so it absorbs it. This is 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. And then this is 2 tablespoons of, teaspoons of cumin, a teaspoon and a half of salt, and about 3/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, black pepper. Okay, I have put my ground beef and my ground lamb in my KitchenAid. I got a thing about touching meat, ladies. Sorry. Anyway, so I'm going to mix this up a little bit just so the meats incorporate with each other just a bit. And once that happens, we are going to mix in our other ingredients. And my sister's going to help me a little bit with the filming of that part. Okay, that looks good. Okay, just a second. Okay, now I've mixed the meat together, so I think you should add the dry spices and the garlic first, just to make sure that it gets through pretty well. So what I do is I go ahead and I put the garlic in, and then I'm going to put the KitchenAid back down, lock it in, and turn it on. I'm going to let the garlic mix in a little bit, and then I'm going to add the spices in, little at a time. This way, all of the meat gets the spices and it doesn't get stuck in one spot. Alright, so we've got that in there. We'll let that work for a second. And then next we're going to add our chopped onion. Here, let's turn it off and do it this way because it's moving around and I can't get to my bowl and la la la, right? Okay. Alright, so we're going to add in our chopped onion and our mint. And I think we should do that a little at a time too, so we make sure that all of it gets some of the spices. Okay, now I'm going to lift it back up. It's heavy. And add in my mint and whatever's left of the onion on my board. And again, put that down. Oh, you hear Layla? She's playing. And then we're going to turn it back on and let that mix in. Okay, and then we're going to have our bulgur left. So we will turn off the machine and put all the meat back down into the bowl. We're going to add our bulgur in. And this, I think we should also do just a little bit at a time and let it mix in. Maybe do about half of it at a time. And make sure that you let your bulgur soak at least half an hour before you put it into your meat. Let that mix in, and then I'll add the rest in. And you don't have to use green onion. I do it because my dad likes it that way. You can use whatever kind of onion you like. Okay. And like I said, when I grew up, they called this Khubbie. But then later, I learned that it's actually supposed to be Khubbie, and it's done a little differently in the Middle East. It's just the way they learned to do it. Okay, so everything is all mixed in. And this is what it will look like. All your spices and everything. Now, at this point, my mom makes it into patties and fries it in a skillet. I don't do that because I don't want all that fried stuff. So, and I'm going to fry eggplant, so I don't want too much fried stuff on the plate. What I'm going to do is form it into, like I would when I make kofta. Patties like this, and put that on a baking pan, and then I'm going to bake this in the oven at 350 for about 20-25 minutes. I'll show you another one, and then we'll cut, and I'll show you the finished product when it's all done. Just kind of try to make them the same size. Alright, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, this is the Khubbie. I'm going to stick it in an oven at 350 for about, I don't know, 25-30 minutes until it looks done. But don't overcook it because then it'll dry out. Okay, this is the finished Khubbie. As you can see, there's not a lot of grease in the pan because I used lean burger and the lamb is lean. So, that's what it looks like when it's done, ladies.